Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about what is needed to prepare for shamanic ceremonies. Hello, this is Berto and this is my channel where I share my journey as a shaman practitioner. And today we will show you a portion of the talk that we did on shamanic ceremonies to explain to you how me and my tribe prepare for any kind of shamanic ceremony. Let's get into it.
There's a lot of people who always ask me about why can't they really do ceremonies on their own? I mean, especially if they don't really know anyone during the event or something like that.
The first thing really is that ceremony technically can be done on your own, right? But there are also things called ritual which you perform on your own. But regardless if you're performing a ceremony or you're performing a ritual, it requires a bit of training. You are dealing with forces that you sometimes wouldn't understand, especially if you're very new to the practice. And just like anything that's new, not everything is really aligned to you or safe to you. So the first thing you should know is, do you have the right tools? Do you have the right skills to make sure that, number one, you are protected, right? That's safety first. Safety first. We all have heard of things that might go wrong inside a ceremony, and that happens when people try to do things that they don't understand and they mess it up, and then it goes into an accident, right? So really, safety and protection has to be there so that you guys can continue doing what you need to do in a safe space, in a sacred space. And the second part of that is, do you have the right procedure? Because a lot of the ceremonies that has been handed on to us from generations to generations are, you can think of it as formulas that work. When you follow the steps, somebody can assure you, or the ceremony steps will assure you, that there is a certain effect, there's a certain outcome, there's a certain benefit, there's a certain direction to the energy that you are trying to construct. So that also requires a lot of training, right? And even for me, sometimes I have to write down everything very, very carefully, follow the step, keep doing it until I get it right. And Grace, you've seen how many times we have to rehearse for our ceremonies just to make sure that we nail down the details of the ceremony. And there is also a power when you do something impeccably, meaning as close to perfect as you can. As perfect as you can also guarantees that the effect will be higher as compared to somebody who's doing things sloppily. I mean, that's kind of like obvious, right? So again, going back to the question, why should I not do that alone? I would say yes, you can do that alone. Actually, if you are a very good shaman, that's not a problem. Or if you're a very good whatever spiritual practitioner, healer, and everything. But for beginners, I will not recommend to do that alone. Come in group, get trained, get exposed, have somebody who will guide you, have somebody that will guarantee you. And in the context of having a community, have a community that will help protect you, especially if you're young. It's just like a plant. When the plant is new and it's still growing, and you can think of that, you as a plant, you're just growing into the practice, you're just trying to make heads and tails of the different things that's happening. What is this? What is energy? What is a ceremony? Blah blah blah. The best way to really grow the plant is to grow in an environment where the plant is nurtured properly, where the plant is protected from the elements that might harm it, and where the plant can optimally grow because there is the right nutrients that goes inside. The same thing goes for spirituality or shamanism in general. Anything else you'd like to add, Grace?
When creating secret spaces, we really need to be impeccable in whatever we do, so that the energies actually do shift within. So that kind of important.
Yeah, it's about having a high standard for the ceremony. because especially if it's a ceremony that concerns higher powers, it's just like going into a court. If you want to present something to a king, or you want to present something to royalties, and in the spiritual world there are kings, there are royalties, there are gods, there are goddesses, there are higher spirits, higher being, whatever, right? There's a lot of them. You need to be at a certain beingness, and whatever you're offering, whatever that may be, should be of a certain quality. And do you even know if that's something that they like, when you're trying to give something to the higher powers, right? You should know what they like, because otherwise they will go like, yeah, it's a nice thing, but that's not what I like, so how will I do with that, right? So you can really think of it in very human terms if you come to think of it that way, right? And again, that's just one picture of what really goes around in the ceremony. And that's why, to me, it's very important. As much as I can, I want to join a person of a higher rank. In our tribe, we call them the ceremony master, because they will guarantee that a lot of these things are taken care of. They know better than me in terms of what needs to be done. And one of the advantage of doing it as a group is that there are many eyes within the tribe that can help check if everything is correct.
Mm.
Right? Especially for the setup team. Like usually it's Grace who does the setup for us, but how many corrections do you get in one night? Just setting up the space for a ceremony.
Definitely, because you have to make sure that it is all aligned and it's all in the proper places,
Correct.
and things have to be symmetrical sometimes, especially the ceremony circle.
That is true.
So there are different aspects to it, and every detail actually is important. Yeah.
Is quite important. Correct. I came across this quotation before when I was preparing our training for how to create a space, right? So there was a saying that says, like, create a space where the gods and the angels will dwell, and gods and angels, or whatever, whoever sacred being, they do dwell in nice spaces, and nice spaces require nice arrangement, nice energy, clean energy, very intentionally placed energy. And that's when they start to come in and they go like, oh, this place is interesting, they need help, or let me come in and pitch in, and then see what that's about. Or it could be as simple as, let me party with these people, they seem to be doing their work. And the end of the day, if you have 20, 30, 40 people in a room, it kind of gets their attention more than just one person in a room. Unless you are a certain rank, you're a master, or you're something who has done a lot of work in this life. Let's just put it that way. Then they have relationships with you. Then it becomes a very different way of connecting with them. It's a personal one. I can't remember our teacher's exact word, but it goes along the line of, it's like you're in an island, and then you prepare a bonfire and you go, hi, no, please notice me, please notice me. That kind of scenario, right? So it's either you have a very beautiful setup that people can notice, or it's big, or it's powerful, or your fire is so big, whatever, catch their attention, and then maybe they'll pay attention to you. That's kind of like how it goes. And lastly, right, when you do it in a group, it's just much more fun, guys. Really, like I I always call our tribe as like, we're actually fun tribes. We have a party every time we have a ceremony. There's lots of music, and we try to cater to whatever is like the vibe of everyone coming in, so that everyone will have fun. And at the same time, those are consciously chosen music that everyone can dance to, and by virtue of that music, people feel elevated, and they can connect to that through the music of it, for example.
Anyway, like what we always say in our channel, don't take my word for it. Try it out for yourself. If you want to know more about how shamanic ceremony is, feel free to join our online sessions called Ask a Shaman, where you get to ask us questions about spirituality in general and the shamanic practice that we do. All you need to do is add my tribe's Facebook group and look at the latest Ask a Shaman schedule, and you can join. It's free, and all you need to do is click on going on the event page. Lastly, please don't forget to comment or subscribe to my channel so you can learn more about modern shamanism as a practice that can make your modern life a little bit more magical every day. And that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye!